What is going on, you guys? My name is Nick, and I had the lucky opportunity last night to see The Menu a week early, so let's talk about it. The Menu follows a couple played by Anya-Taylor-Joy and Nicholas Hoult as they, along with 10 other esteemed guests, travel to a coastal island to eat at an exclusive restaurant where the chef, played by Ralph Fiennes, has prepared a lavish menu with some shocking surprises. Okay, first and foremost, what I have to get out of the way is something I already said in my at-a-theater reaction yesterday, is that Ralph Fiennes is the greatest living actor that doesn't have an Oscar on his mantle. I believe he's been nominated twice, once for Schindler's List. I'm not sure what the other one was, but he needs an Oscar. Is this film going to give it to him? Most certainly not. His character is very reserved in this movie, but I will say he does his normal Ralph Fiennes villain thing. I don't mean to undercut what he does. It's just he's very, very good at playing these very reserved, mysterious roles, and that's 100% why he was chosen to play this. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Anya-Taylor-Joy's role, who is the other lead of the film, the protagonist, I guess is what you could say, although I would argue that Ralph Fiennes' character could actually be the protagonist, but that's a discussion for another time. But Anya continues to prove that she is a force to be reckoned with within the entertainment business. This is one of her more low-key, I don't want to say timid, but more reserved, kind of like Ralph Fiennes' character. There's not a whole lot for her to work with, and I mean, she does her best with what she can. And outside of Anya's character and Ralph's character, heck, maybe even some of Anya's character, I wouldn't say that they're the most fleshed out characters in the world. I'd say that they are very, very one-dimensional. They're very hard to get behind, but I also feel like that they were designed that way on purpose, because when you're in a situation like you're in with this movie, it's a dark comedy, you have to have the audience laugh at some of the misery of what the characters are going through, and in order for that to happen, you can't really sympathize with them. That's why I'm not that big on dark comedies. I do enjoy them from time to time. It's just, I don't know, I prefer to get attached to my characters, and I don't know, I prefer relating to the characters, and I felt like it was very difficult to find someone to relate to. Although I will say some of the things that were going on with Ralph Fiennes' character towards the end of the film, that you start to learn a little bit about him, you understand where he's coming from, why he's doing all this. I did kind of sort of relate to that, not to like the killing people part, but I can't even explain it without spoilers because there's still an embargo. Oh my god, I just sound like a murderer now. Anyway, let's move on from that. Now, me saying that these characters are very one-dimensional, they're almost held into their specific archetypes, that doesn't mean that they don't have any sort of character development. In fact, there is an entire segment or an entire course of the menu dedicated to fleshing out some of these characters, some of their past mistakes, stuff that they've done, and where it's led them to this position today. But outside of that one sequence, there's not much else. And I do really love the way the film ends. I've talked to some people who have seen it that aren't that big on it, but to me, it works perfectly. I think if you genuinely pay attention to the film, especially in the last 20-30 minutes of the movie, it all makes really, really good sense, and I'm a big fan of how it ends. I will say, though, it did feel a little underwhelming in the moment, because the entire film, Ralph Fiennes is just hyping up the end of this menu, that it's going to have this big overarching theme, and that it's going to blow everyone's mind away, but in the end, the ending was rather low-key. It was rather tame compared to what I thought it would be, but it still worked for me, and I still really enjoyed it. I do think this film works on a lot of levels. The laughs, I laughed a whole hell of a lot more than I thought I would in this movie. The violence in particular, I thought was very, very well done. It was very well sprinkled out in between there, because for the first hour almost, there isn't a whole lot of anxiety-induced things happening, a lot of violence and terror going on, but the conversations that are being had, they're hilarious, they're engaging, even though you're not fully engaged with who the characters are and you can't really fully relate to them, it's still at least entertaining to watch. And I guess at the end of the day, that's all you really want out of a movie, that it's entertaining to watch. And I definitely recommend you guys check out The Menu. It was very, very fun. Is it my favorite movie of the year? No. Is it my favorite? Is it going to be in my top 10 or even my honorable mentions? No, but it doesn't have to be for me to like it. I think if you guys love dark comedies, horror movies with a comedy edge to it, you guys would definitely love this movie. You guys are going to enjoy the hell out of this one. I do recommend it 100%. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. It would be higher on the list. It's just, the characters just weren't that interesting to me outside of what happened to them in the end. So yeah, the Menu releases in theaters everywhere this Thursday evening, so go check it out if you guys do have the free time. And I will see you guys in my out of theater reaction. What movie am I seeing this Thursday? I'm seeing She Said on Thursday, so I'll have my out of theater reaction and I'll have my movie review up hopefully by the end of that evening. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.